Hey guys, just about to run 20 miles, and I rarely get to find somebody who actually goes 20 miles as well, but Ashton's gonna be joining me today, so we'll catch you guys after the run. We got Ashton trying to go around right here, but look at this tree. Right into the trail. It's a massive tree. All right, I'll try to get it around this thing. Look on that. All right. That's crazy. From the other side right here. Look at that snap. All right, about halfway. Sun's in the way. Got my gel. Went to the bathroom in this outhouse right here. And we're feeling all right. Feeling pretty good. How about you?
I'm feeling great.
Great. We'll continue. Hello everybody, welcome back to Coaching with Coffee, and I just finished my 20-mile long run, and it's a rare occasion that I get to run with somebody for 20 miles. Normally it's like 14, 16 miles, and then I run the last 5 miles by myself. But I got a guy who does crazy mileage over here. His name's Ashton. He's from the Colorado area. He's growing up in Colorado kind of like I have. And we'll kind of dive more into that a little bit further in the video, but let's kind of go over our long run then first. What do you think of the long run? I know you're just getting
nice.
back.
Yeah, getting back. I just took a week off, so very necessary to keep going mentally.
Yeah.
That's the most important part, just so you can go. And then physically, that was well needed as well. But
yeah,
felt great today. Just gonna ease back into getting up to speed again. And
nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. So I like Ashton. He does a lot of you do a lot of marathon running right now. That's currently what he's kind of focusing on. What kind of mileage are you hitting typically? Like right now you're hitting, like what mileage are you hitting right now, and what mileage do you normally hit like if you're preparing for a marathon?
Okay. Yeah. So right about now I'm hitting about 100 a week, and when I'm at my peak I'm around 120 miles to 130, which I've pretty much based that off of some other training and tips from many people in my life. So, and it seemed to work really well for me. And another thing that works really well with the high mileage is if you do it right, meaning if you keep your easy days easy, nice and slow in your high mileage, there's no such thing as junk miles or whatever. You just put your time on your feet and then keep your easy days easy, and then once you get to your hard workouts, you can just throw that hammer down and just nail it. So,
yeah. So I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to train. There's some people who are more high intensity based, and you can do the longer mileage. So there's not just one way to train, and Ashton definitely does that longer mileage and keeping that long LSD running is what we call it. So long, slow distance. So he does a lot of that. And if you're doing higher mileage like that, I really do recommend that you guys take those easy days super easy, because if you're always going hard, you're going to get injured doing high mileage. That's where people make the biggest mistake, I feel.
Just for my example of what I do typically, like I do something like a 20-mile marathon pace run, and you'll see on my Strava that my easy days, they're anywhere from like 7:30 pace to even as slow as like 8:30, 9-minute pace, and that doesn't really matter to me. The way I look at it is, would you rather just run consistently and like mediocre all the time, or would you rather just have your easy days? Who cares about the pace? And then once you run your workouts, explode. Like that's how I do my 20-mile marathon runs, where I do. I did my latest one at 5:38 per mile, so that's it shows results for what I do. And everyone's different, but long slow distance LSD is what works really well for me. So.
For sure. Yeah, so that, just so you guys know, I don't even hit 120 miles a week, but I'm maybe a little bit higher intensity than Ashton is with my training. So just so you guys, for frame reference, I'm a 2:21 marathoner, and he's hitting about the same paces I'm hitting for my marathon long runs too. So he's probably about in that range for sure. In the 220s, I think he could probably be running. Because he's hitting about the same paces I was hitting for those long 20-mile workout days for marathons. Do you want to go into a little bit more on what have you run in the marathon? And I know you're pretty new to it, like I am.
Yeah.
But what have you run so far in the marathon? I think you're in better shape than what he's run. Just to let you guys know.
Yeah. So officially last year I did the Colfax Marathon, and I did that in 2:42.
At altitude.
So yeah, I have not run at sea level yet. But I'm looking forward to that. But so the putting a perspective of where I was for that race and for my 20-mile marathon workout, that's like a staple where I put myself to evaluate where I potentially could be in the fitness. Mm-hmm. So like before the Colfax Marathon, I did my 20-mile marathon pace run at 6:38 per mile in Colorado. It was 6:23 pace in South Dakota where I came from college before I graduated, but then before I ran Colfax in Colorado, it was 6:38 per mile, and then I ran 2:42, so that's 6:13 pace per mile. So now with that same exact marathon pace workout, same route and everything, I've increased that from 6:38 per mile to 5:38 per mile. So that gives me a little guess that I can possibly be around 2:25 marathon shape is what I'm guessing.
I would say the same thing, yeah. Pretty close.
Yeah, there's just some things in races you can't do by yourself, like the adrenaline and the race environment, the crowds and everything.
Yeah,
that
and your taper.
Really, yeah, the taper even. All those factors will justify, I guess, for my marathon training run to go faster than that, so.
For sure.
I think I'm right about 2:25 shape.
Unfortunately, with all the races being canceled, can't quite test that. But we'll see when he does get another race in. So that be excited for that. It'll probably be in even better shape too. So that's gonna be awesome. Mm-hmm. Let's kind of go into. You were talking a little bit about college. Let's dive into. I guess let's go into back to high school and start there, and then we'll go into college. But where'd you run high school? I guess you're in Colorado, so.
Yeah, I ran at Ballard Christian High School.
Nice.
And really how I started running was I was a soccer player my entire life, and then one of the off seasons in soccer, the coach was like, "Okay, we're gonna have you guys run," and then we're like, "What?" And then I'm like, we did 4 miles a day every other day, and I was like, well, I kind of like this, so I actually kept doing it in 8th grade.
Nice.
And then that summer before high school, I would go to cross country practice in the morning and then soccer in the evening. And then because the cross country and soccer, they're both fall sports, I had to make a decision of which one I really had to stick with. So it came down to a conversation between the coaches, and they said I had far more potential in running. So that's where I made the switch of my biggest life decision, pretty much. So it was challenging, but I absolutely loved running and just kept going from there in high school and just did whatever the coach told me and built from there.
Awesome, yeah. So, started in soccer like most of us probably do. I feel like a lot of runners are ex-soccer players or something like that, or have done both at one point. Going a little bit more into college, he actually ran in the same conference as I did. So I ran a Metro State, which is the RMAC conference, which is one of the most competitive. I would even go as far to say the most competitive Division II conference in the nation. But you ran South Dakota Mines. How did that go?
It was a very good experience in terms of being with friends and everything, but the rigors of engineering are extremely difficult. The reason why I only ran 2 years in college, and the main reason was, for one, I had to really make up a lot of time whenever I would miss, because like for one, track we had to meet every single week.
For sure, yeah.
So I would be missing Thursdays and Fridays all the time, and each time you miss a lab, you're missing 3 hours at a minimum of makeup time after you get back from a track meet. So for me, that was just one lab. So if I had 3 labs I'm missing, that's 9 hours on my own, no help from professors on weekends, but that's when I had to do them, and it became close to impossible for me to continue. But
for sure, it's understandable. And now he has, with Division 2, he still has eligibility too, which is kind of nice. So he could always go back and
that's right.
go back into college and run with that eligibility that he has still. But he can't go to Division 1. Whole nother story. That's a whole nother story we can get into. But let's kind of dive in more to, I guess, what you're doing nowadays. So you went to a really good school for engineering, and now you're back in Colorado from South Dakota. And now what are you doing in Colorado?
So I was fortunate enough to have luck with the only online application that I've had luck for applying with at Lockheed Martin, just 20 minutes away from where I grew up my whole life. So I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely take that. It's a great place to be, excellent people to be with, and it's in Deer Creek, which if I'm running in the office, you're always running hills every single day, which I think was very good for me, because that got me in tip-top shape, I think, for some of the races I did right after that.
Yeah, good strength training, for sure.
Very much so, but you had to keep it nice and slow on your easy days, because you had hills no matter what. Else you would be on a treadmill, but I hate treadmills. There's a place for them, but not for me.
Definitely. So he's working, put us in the perspective too. He's working 40 hours a week and doing 120 miles a week. That's, just so you guys know, when I'm doing 100 miles a week, I think with like recovery and everything that I'm doing for running, I'm hitting easily 20 hours a week. That's like a part-time job. He's doing 120 miles a week with 40 hours of work as well. Like, think about that. If you guys are having trouble trying to get in your mileage, then think about like what some of these other people are doing. They're running 120 mile weeks and stuff like that. So how do you balance all that? Like, do you have any tips for anybody else?
Well, it's different for everyone's situation. I'm single right now and have the luxury of, I guess, having flex hours at Lockheed Martin. So they're okay with me taking a break at lunch for an hour or two, and then coming back. And I typically work from like mornings from like 7 to 11, and then I typically go out for a run from 11 to 2 or 1. And then I go back to work and work late or whatever.
For sure.
A lot of things we can do also is just like roll our hours over. Like you say, we can work 12 one day and then 2 the next. Just need to average 80 hours in 2 weeks.
Definitely. So finding a good job is definitely a nice perk then.
And being single has its workarounds too. I don't have children I have to worry about, so I understand that's a challenge, because I just got a puppy, and boy,
speaking of children,
it's tough to take care of little guys like that. So props to all you people out there taking care of kids.
So I have seen a picture though of your puppy and the guy who's holding him. So can you tell where did you get your puppy? Let's go over that first, and maybe I'll put the picture up on the screen too.
Sure, for sure. Yeah, so I actually got him from Ryan Hall.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I was coaching with him back last November, but had to back out with the rigors of a full-time job with his load, because whenever I did workouts, it would be like 3 hours. And it's like 2 full-time jobs pretty much. And, but that was tough, but getting the dog from him was really cool. I got to go to Flagstaff and run with Sarah Hall and Ryan biked and all that.
Sweet.
By the way, he's only
running shape.
He's only run twice in 2020. So.
Oh yeah. If you guys see Ryan Hall now, he's jacked, massive bodybuilder
190 pounds now.
Yeah, it's insane. What is he like? He's like 5 foot something and
5'10", and at his racing time, he was at his best at 137. So now he's like 50 pounds more, 50,
Yeah.
60 more.
Yeah. I don't see him as a runner anymore, but stellar runner back in his day.
Such
I
a
guess
nice
he's in a
guy.
new day now,
Yeah.
weightlifting and all that. But yeah, I mean, do you have a social media you want to shout out or anything?
Yeah, if you guys want, I have an Instagram. It's just Ashton Grissom, all one word.
Yeah, I'll put that in the description below too, so you guys can click on that if you want to go visit his Instagram.
That's all I really do. I'm
Yeah.
not into anything else much.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it was great talking to you, Ashton. Great
Yeah,
running with
man.
you as well today. Thanks for the interview, and
Yeah, thanks.
yeah, I'll catch you guys there. Make sure you guys subscribe if you enjoyed, and if you guys want to catch more of these kind of videos, and I try to do an interview every week at Saturday. So I post them at Saturday at 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you guys want to catch those, subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification next to it to get notified when I do post those. But yeah, thanks again, Ashton. We'll have to run again sometime. We'll keep track of this guy.
Yeah. Thanks.